coming back at you.
Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports.
It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. You can reach him at palermopa.com. All right, let's bring in the man that knows the NFL and the Eagles better than anybody, the great Sal Paolantonio from ESPN, big friend of the show. Sal Pal, how are you, my friend? Happy New Year to you.
Oh, I'm doing great, JP. Happy New Year to you. Looking forward now coming down to Tampa.
Yes.
And Eagles at Bucks for the wild card game. Should be a fantastic game.
Little tennis on Saturday, and I'm going to beat you this time. Finally,
I'm looking forward to it. A little sunshine would be nice too.
Yes.
Sunshine would be nice. That's right here where I am right now. It's like 7 degrees. No good.
We're going to have 65 and sunny all weekend long, partner. So get down here quickly.
All right, brother.
What a final Sunday. I wasn't for a week 18, but man, that was one of the most amazing days, the final days of the NFL I can never remember. You've been covering this league for a long time. I mean, from start to finish, storyline after storyline. Was that as good as it gets in the NFL for one day of football?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. That's the NFL drew it up, man.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted those divisional games at the end of the season with another week tacked on. It was they said it was the greatest season ever, and they were right.
Yeah. What was the most shocking storyline for you yesterday? What Staley did in the Chargers-Raiders game, the 49ers coming back to beat the Rams, which the Buck fans were ecstatic about that. What was the biggest storyline for you?
Well, I think if you want to go top three, it would have to be Brandon Staley's decision, to call timeout at the end of the game.
Yeah.
To me, JP, everybody in the world knew that if the two teams tied, they both get in. So that's a conversation that you're having during the week with your staff as a head coach.
Yep.
You get your coaches together, you get your star players together, and you say, hey, this is what we're going to do if this contingency happens. If this situation arises, we're going to let the clock run out, and we're going to play for a tie. And that may be antithetical to what you know as a competitor, but we want to get into the postseason. And so he's got to have that plan in place. This is the kinds of things that Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick and all the greats always played for. Bill Walsh, Joe Gibbs. All the great head coaches always had these contingencies played out. And I was really surprised that Staley did what he did. And also, rolling the dice the way he did earlier in the game.
Yeah, the fourth and two was ridiculous.
I never advocate for anybody to get fired, but I think he really raised questions about whether he's qualified to be a head coach.
Yeah, I think he lost his team with both of those decisions. And when you lose your team, you got. I don't think you can recover from that. So we'll see what happens there. The 49ers come back on the Rams down 17. Was just tremendous. And this is a 49ers team I don't think anybody wants to play in the playoffs. Let's give Jimmy G some credit. He made some big throws in that game down the stretch late.
Yeah, with basically a busted right hand.
Yeah.
He's got bone missing from his right thumb, and he's in constant pain.
Wow.
So, yeah, he made some great throws. Courageous stood in there in the pocket. The Rams were coming after him. But it was really, in my opinion, a poorly coached game by Sean McVay. He kept putting his offense and his defense back on the field. They don't know how to run the ball. Don't know how to stop the run. They put way too much on Matthew Stafford, who makes way too many mistakes. 12 interceptions in his last 8 games. Troy Aikman said last night on the broadcast, it's feast or famine with Matthew Stafford.
I agree, and I don't think it's all on him either. The way they're coaching this team right now, they have too much talent to be doing what they're doing, I think. But let's get into the Bucks and the Eagles. Of course, you know them better than anybody. And let's start right there. I want to talk a little bit about yesterday's game, but the Eagles rested a lot of their players. And they run the football, which is something the Bucks have had trouble stopping lately, to be quite honest. They need to get Lavonte David back. They need to get Shaq Barrett and JPP back. The defense they put on the field the last 2 weeks is not going to win a playoff game, in my opinion. How do you see this matchup?
Well, this matchup is a difficult one for the Philadelphia Eagles. First and foremost, Brady's pretty formidable in Tampa. And they are a 7-point favorite in this game already.
Yeah.
Line probably opened at that'll go down because there's a lot of Philly money out there, and a lot of Philly money will chase the points.
Mm-hmm.
So that number may go down 6.5 or 6. So people who want to bet the Bucks should just wait a little bit because the number's going to come down. You know what? The profile of the Eagles is, their superior offensive line will move you off the football. They have a very intricate and interesting run game. It's a lot like the one that Jalen Hurts ran in Oklahoma. It's a little bit of the RPOs that Frank Reich installed in Philadelphia with Nick Foles late in the Super Bowl year that he taught to Nick Sirianni in Indianapolis, and now the Colts use with Jonathan Taylor, where you're pulling the tackles and the guards into different positions and you're using the quarterback as a threat to run. So the defense has to account for him, put a hat on him. It's a very good, dominant run game since Lane Johnson came back from that mental health episode.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles are 7-3, running the ball 188 yards a game.
Wow.
And scoring 188 average per game.
Wow.
And, scoring 28 points per game, which is third most in the league in the last 11 weeks of the season. So I think they're just their ability to run the football, control the clock, control the line of scrimmage, play field position football, that could keep the game close for a while. But they must, and this is their biggest problem. When I asked Nick Sirianni after the game against the Cowboys, what are the 2 things that you will be working on this week to win a wild card game?
Mm-hmm.
The first thing he said is we got to start faster. If you don't start fast against Brady, you're out of the building. He'll blow you out of the building. And number 2, we have to play better pass defense. Their pass defense, JP, is vanilla. Brady carved it up when they played here on Thursday night. 3 months ago, whatever it was in October. And, Brady eats zone alive. You got to play man-to-man press coverage, and you got to blitz him up the middle and hit him. He's thrown the most. He's dropped back the most and thrown the most footballs this year, and he's been hit the least. And that's because I think one. If you watched the game yesterday, and I know you went back and watched the film.
Yes.
So it's late in the game. And Brady's inside the 10.
Mm-hmm.
And he sees where the blitz is coming from. And he has the running back. I'm not sure who it was.
Le'Veon Bell.
It
was Vaughn. Okay. Yeah, it was Vaughn.
It was Bell?
It was Vaughn. 21. And he stepped up and smoked a guy. Yeah. I know exactly the play you're talking about.
Moved Brady shifted him from the left side to the right. And the running back picked up the blitz long enough for Brady to hit Evans on that little down and out in the end zone for the touchdown. That in a nutshell is a microcosm of how Brady has protected himself this year.
Great point.
I think it's a combination of Arians, Leftwich, Christensen, Brady himself. The center you have. You watch him on film. The guy is a monster.
Yeah.
Never makes mistakes. He's the leader of that O-line. I mean, he is unbelievable. People talk about Jason Kelsey here, but your center is unbelievable. That guy can play football. He's a football player.
Ryan Jensen.
Exactly, Jensen. So, I mean, this is a football team that will really give the Eagles inferior pass defense problems unless Jonathan Gannon looks at the tape and says, okay, what did Dennis Allen do in that game when the Saints came in and shut Brady out? We need to do what Dennis Allen did. That's it. Just duplicate what Dennis Allen did, or try to come as close as you can, which is play press coverage and blitz Brady and hit him and go after those guys. If you don't go after the Bucks, Brady will eat you alive. He'll see, oh, this is a soft. Brady's a tough guy. People think because of the way he looks and the life he leads and all that, Brady is a tough SOB. I mean, he is. If he sees you're soft, he'll come right for the jugular and go get you.
Yeah. Sal Paolantonio joining us here, also the host of the NFL Matchup Show, 20-plus years, longest-running TV show outside of, I don't know, what Face the Nation or whatever. You guys have been doing it forever. It's the best show on TV. I thought you just I can't wait to see how you break. You better break it down just like you just did on our show. So thanks for the tease there. I wanted to ask you about the Antonio Brown situation because I know you've been watching this from afar. Actually, closer. Most of it went down to New York, but just your thoughts on AB. And I get a real sense that has galvanized this team in a very real way. They're pissed off at him, and the more he keeps coming at them, Brady and Gronk and everybody else, the more galvanized they will be. What are your thoughts?
Well, I kind of agree with you. I think it will be a galvanizing force on a team that really doesn't need one. I mean, when you got Tom Brady in your locker room, I can't overstate it. And we saw it last year, where he would text guys at midnight. So it would be their last text that they would get. Leonard Fournette talked about, hey, we're going to win the game. This is how we're going to win it. Constant reminder. True leadership like that is rare in any walk of life, particularly in sports. So, I mean, Brady has provided the leadership. Gronk, is a sergeant at arms, and again, and you got like a great leadership on that offensive line, and you got toughness there. This is going to be a tough game for anybody who plays the Bucks in the playoffs, starting with Philadelphia. And I think the Antonio Brown situation has galvanized the team. There's no question about that. I agree with you.
Well, yeah, and I think Brady's a great leader, but it's always nice to have a little nugget there to kind of lean on to rally guys, and I think Antonio provided that for us. Just moving forward, do you think the basic question everybody has here, Sal, is do the Bucks have enough? Cyril Grayson, who we thought might be a nice little punch in the arm a little bit to get the deep ball going with Antonio out. Looks like he might not be able to come back. Scotty Miller showed up again yesterday, and he's made some big plays for this team in the playoffs. So do the Bucks have enough offensively if they get Fournette back to win a Super Bowl? Is it enough? I'm not so sure it is.
Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes, we are. We are.
Yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves. That's a big picture question. I have to look again at this team. I mean, they're going to have to get past the Eagles.
Yeah.
The Eagles have a very tough veteran group of guys on the offensive and defensive lines. If they have a coach who has adapted to his personnel, they have a quarterback who's believing in himself. They have, in my opinion, they have gotten very lucky. They were healthy on the offensive line. They played a weak schedule with a weak level of second and third level quarterbacks. They haven't faced a starting quarterback in the last 6 weeks of the season other than Dak Prescott, and he smoked them. Obviously, I don't know what the Cowboys tried to prove by putting up 51 points against the Eagles' backup secondary and third string secondary. That's a conversation for a completely different segment with you and I. But yeah. I mean, I don't know what they would prove, what possibly they could prove by doing that. I was shocked that Mike McCarthy had Dak Prescott in the game in the second half. I can understand getting him some work and developing some momentum. I get all that, but geez, all right, enough. We got you. We made the point. Get him off the field in the second half. But the Eagles have a veteran group on the offensive defensive line. They just got waxed at home, so they're really feeling like, hey, okay, we got to regather ourselves and prove to the world that we belong. So there'll be parts of that. Jalen Hurts has got some confidence, but if you're looking for weaknesses, it plays into the Bucs' strength. Their pass defense is weak. They don't blitz often enough, in my view.
Mm-hmm.
They need to play man-to-man and blitz Brady to have a legitimate shot at winning the game. Secondarily, big issue that nobody talks about. Jalen Hurts has thrown 5 interceptions in the red zone. That's the most in the league.
Mm-hmm.
If he throws interceptions in the red zone or they don't punch in and kick field goals, they won't win the game.
It's going to be fun. Cannot wait for a playoff game. We haven't had many over our history here in Tampa Bay. So it's now we got to make sure the Bucs fans don't sell their tickets to Eagles fans. But I'm sure there'll be a presence.
I know a lot of ticket brokers in Philadelphia who are selling tickets right now at premium prices. So they're getting them from somewhere. You may want to put out. I mean, how embarrassing, JP, was that SoFi Stadium last night?
Oh, my God.
When the Niners did anything, the place erupted. I'm like, where are they? Are they in Santa Clara or are they in Inglewood? Where the heck are they?
Well, that's the cheap secret is they built this stadium and there are no Rams or Charger fans. I mean, they're very few. They don't show up. And because what a national embarrassment for the Los Angeles Rams. Oh my God! And listen,
losing to a guy who's got a bad hand. You're up 17-0. I mean, both those coaches in LA yesterday. Oh boy. Yeah, you really have to question their qualifications to be head coaches at the NFL level. Here's Bill Belichick, who's taking a rookie quarterback who right now couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat, and he's in the playoffs. Brian Flores, I don't know why they fired Brian Flores.
I don't know. I have no idea. That's mind-boggling. I don't know where they think they're going to get better.
He hasn't lost. He's lost one game since Halloween.
Yeah, it's insane. And some of these owners, I don't know what they're thinking.
He resuscitated Tua. He made Tua into a professional quarterback.
Yeah.
Out loud. I don't get it. That one shocked me. All right, JP. I'll check in with you later in the week.
Yeah.
And if you need me, call me back, and we'll see each other this weekend. And
yes, absolutely.
Looking forward to some warm weather, seeing everybody down in Tampa.
And I hope you don't turn into Novak Djokovic when I have you down 4-2 again. Just take it easy. Don't play so hard next time, Sal. All right. And take a break every time I hit a winner. You don't have to chase down everything. All right, just take a break. All right, I'll see you.
Okay, brother.
See you on Saturday. The great Sal